I'm Matthew Dow.
And I'm Amy Dow.
This is SweetlandFarm in Albion, Maine, and we're a 30-cow organic dairy operation.
We started with one cow, and we started in 2010, and then we bought this place in July of 2017 and went full force with it.
We're certified organic. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of paper trail to show that we don't use pesticides, commercial fertilizers, antibiotics. All of our cows are treated naturally. It's more natural for the cows, it's more natural for the land. This is a pasture-based dairy. Our cows get grass. In the summertime, they're outside probably 21 hours in a day. They get fed grain when they're in milking, and every 12 hours they get a fresh batch of grass. You want to graze your cattle at 8 to 10 inches of grass and then take them off about 6 inches of grass. And then 12 hours later, they're moved to a new spot. The purpose of that is to give the cows fresh grass. It cuts down on parasites. It's easier on the grass. So grass is a huge component in their diet. We don't feed any corn. You can feed corn silage if you're certified organic. We just choose not to. It's mainly a pasture-based dairy.
Yeah.
When we first moved here in 2017, we wanted to go fishing. We couldn't find a worm anywhere. Having the cows rotationally graze for 3 years, adding manure back to the land, which this farm hadn't had manure in years, and there are worms everywhere. Worms is a sign of soil health. So having worms knows that you have healthy soils.
We milk twice a day, morning and night, at 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. Bring them in from the fields, and they each go to their stall and they get hooked in. We have to wash or sanitize the line first, and then we can start milking. We put the milkers on. It goes through the pipeline, gets filtered, and then it goes into the tank.
These are the milkers. Milk would get sucked through the black hose, and this is the same pipeline that's outside. This pipe goes into the tank, so the milk goes into the tank. And in case we pick up any sawdust, any foreign matter, this would slide right in here. So all the milk is filtered before it goes in the tank. It first comes into what's called a receiving jar, and these electrodes, when it gets to a certain height, turns the motor on with all the components up here. And this pump will pump it all up in and then down into the tank. This is a hot water heater. In order to properly wash our equipment, it needs to be at 185 degrees. Right behind Amy is a temperature recorder that records the temperature of the milk for a week, and every Saturday morning I change that. So each of these times, when the milk starts to heat up in the center of the tank, there's an agitator. And that will turn that on. That will stir the milk. The cooler will turn on to make sure that there is a cool distribution of the milk. And then it spikes up every other day to about 80 degrees. And that's when we wash the tank. Every other day, the milk truck comes and picks up the milk. And after that, it's soap and water, wash it all right out. So that's why we have the spike. And also, there's a bit of a spike around 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and that's when we milk. There's the compressor over here, which is basically a giant refrigerator. Every refrigerator has one of these and freezer. They're just a lot smaller. That cools the tank, and then this is the vacuum pump, which creates the vacuum to suck all the milk in. If we have a fresh cow, which means a cow that just calved, the colostrum can't go in the tank. So we would save that out and then in turn give it to the baby. One of the hoses will go from the milking unit to the top, and then from the other one will go into the vacuum line. So it's still getting vacuum, but the milk is being collected into the tank. We need to make sure all of our cows are clean before they're being milked. So they're washed. The green one is the pre-dip, which we dip the cow's udders before we milk, wipe them down, and then they're dipped after they're done. We're predominantly Jersey herd breeding for A2A2, which is a component in the milk that is much more easily digestible.
We are a family-run farm, and nobody is hired off the farm for work, and everybody has their own responsibilities that they do every day, twice a day on the farm. They're outside, they're home, they're homeschooled. It gives them a super boost of confidence when you give them a calf and they raise it from a baby. We just like having them around.
We have pigs, we have horses, we have almost 60 head of cattle. Our daughter has some goats.
And some chickens.
Wonderful little kittens that we hear running across the barn floor every morning. The one in there that has got a Holstein calf nursing off her for veal, she's 16 years old.
Well, the brown ones like this, they're the Jerseys. Then the two gray ones, those are the Murray Grays. And then the three darker colored ones are the steers.
This one right here, Clover, she is just like her mother. Very, very light. Purebred Jersey, and this one right over here, her mother is a dark Jersey. So they follow in their parents' gene.
I think as far as buying locally, you get to know your local farmer, you get to know how the animals are raised or how the crop is raised. It not only tastes better because it's fresh, but you get to know your farmer and you get to know the animals, and it exposes kids and people who don't normally know anything about farming and make it so that they're more aware, and I just think it makes it better for everybody to know where their food is coming from. It's more sustainable to the economy that you live in and supporting people that are near you, and it helps not only your health by eating more natural foods, and you're supporting farmers that are closer to you. Therefore, it's going to help the community and educate your community as well.